We try to look at it as a whole picture to make sure it's balanced correctly, it's styled correctly. So we try to get the key components right and then just kind of build around a specific base.
Anything that takes away from the pleasurable experience of really riding your motorcycle at a good level, it is detrimental. I guess I've been riding bikes my whole life, you know, from ever since I can remember. Always had a passion for bikes, I was kind of completely just engrossed in anything motorized. I started as an electrical engineer. I needed to make money to follow my dream, to follow my passion, and the passion was basically to spend all of that money on motorcycles, and that's kind of what I did. So, and then it started to get a bit more serious. This guy's asking me to give up my full-time job and come racing full-time.
We actually had a very unconventional way to get to building bikes because we don't come from a racing background. We kind of got together at one point and started riding bikes as we would naturally do when you're 16 or 17. We actually started in my basement back in the day when I was 16, and then we kind of built my personal bike and we built Pablo's personal bike, and then we sold these two rather than actually riding them ourselves, and from then it took off. Of course, back in the day, people would strip stuff off their bike to make it lighter because there were no such performance upgrades as there are now. We actually, what we do is we style them in a way that makes them appealing to the eye a little bit more. So actually with us, I think, function follows form.
What I like is getting on a motorcycle and immediately feeling part of the motorcycle. Like, there are a lot of special build projects that I've seen, admired, ridden, but not necessarily enjoyed some parts of that. The ride experience has got to be every bit as good as the visual.
The thing is, right now, we have not yet had the pleasure to actually work with someone so experienced and skilled to actually give valuable input. Through his involvement, we of course try to capture a little bit more of the racing spirit that such a bike could have. And we did so with some suspension components. We did so with even the riding position, which is even a little bit more aggressive than what we would usually do, just because it's not for a 1,000-kilometer ride. It maybe is just for 3 laps on a racetrack.
Where the rider sits on this bike is kind of one of the most important parts. You don't want your knees up like this, with the foot position and somewhere where you can change or push your brake and change your gear. Well, we know what this bike's all about. It's where we place it on its suspension is going to be really important. If we weren't able to change foot peg position, handlebar position or whatever, then that's got to be even more important. That's got to be the big question mark, where this is. I'm going to be asking to go to more of an extreme height, which also has an effect on how he designs the seat, where he places the seat on the subframe.
So what we tried to do here was kind of embody the stock gas tank with the lines in front and the back, which are custom made on this bike, to kind of stress more that we're going for an aerodynamic point of view here, but still keep the stock forms of the bike. One thing that Jeremy didn't mention necessarily, but I think he will be very amazed by, is actually the wheel set. We have a significant drop in weight here, and this is one of the main modifications on such a bike that are extremely crucial. I do think that this will actually be the first bike that will be legitimately driven on the racetrack by somebody who's qualified to do so. I'm actually excited to see what Jeremy has to say about it, because we've never had a qualified opinion on actually the work we do.
When you jump on a motorcycle, the first thing that you do is you're critical. The first thing I do is look to see where are my feet, or where is my position? Can I reach the gear shift easy? Can I reach the brake easy? level, spring, lift it. We just grab it and just see what the ground clearance on this thing's like. I mean,
I'm actually very open to Jeremy's suggestions, and I hope that he has suggestions to say, because I'm 100% sure that the bike is far from perfect when it comes to, to such a dramatic test on the racetrack by a race driver.
can we just pull it over on this side and have a look? So heads.
Oh dear.
That's good.
Not so good. It's coming out of there, is it?
Yeah, it is.
It's just not a good idea what they did.